How did we get from this to this?
Light good?
Yep, you're good.
The story of the RV is wild. War, nation building, economic upheaval, a global pandemic. The RV has gone through some serious world events, and at times, the future didn't look so bright.
This is the greatest challenge that our country will face during our lifetime.
But it started out as something simple, didn't it? A trailer, a campfire, the great outdoors. Before everything else, RVing was easy. Or was it? To find out, we have to go back. I'm talking way back. It's 1913 and the Ford Model T has gone into mass production, giving middle-class Americans the ability to actually buy an automobile. RVs, on the other hand, while basic, were pure luxury, and some ran for as much as $230,000 in today's dollars. Construction included wood interiors and steel frames, and both travel trailers and motorhomes, or house cars, were in production. For rich, early RV adopters, life was good. And then, 1929 happened. The stock market crash and the start of the Great Depression. But here's the strange part, one that honestly defines an important aspect of RVs today. During the Depression, thousands of Americans took to living in trailers year-round. By the end of the 30s, about half of all new trailers being sold were used for full-time living. The Trailerites, as they were called, could just pick up and travel wherever they wanted without paying real estate taxes. For the first time, the RV was more about functionality than luxury. Innovation continued too, and we saw the introduction of the Airstream and Bowlus RVs, whose lightweight aluminum designs took cues from aircraft builders. Hawley Bowlus himself was superintendent of construction on Lindbergh's Spirit of St. Louis, but the aircraft-inspired RVs would have to wait. In 1941, the US enters World War II, and RV production grinds to a halt.
A state of war has existed between the United States and the Japanese Empire.
So here's the thing about World War II and why it mattered so much for the future of RVs. After the war, inspired by the German Autobahn highway system, then General and now President Dwight D. Eisenhower saw the potential for an American interstate highway system. And in 1956, he kicked off what would become over 40,000 miles of brand new highways across the country. So now, Americans everywhere had an all-access pass to the nation's backyard. All that new pavement met a country with money in its pocket and 2 weeks of vacation to burn. The family road trip was the American dream on 4 wheels. And through the 50s, the trailer transformed. The icebox is replaced by a refrigerator that runs on propane. The same propane fired the stove, the furnace, and the water heater. Add a full kitchen and holding tanks that would allow for toilets and eventually showers. For the first time ever, you didn't have to rough it at all. The 60s brought a couple game changers. First, air conditioning. Suddenly, the RV was livable in July. Second, in 1966, Winnebago started building motorhomes on an assembly line and selling them for about half of what everyone else charged. Another factor was that gas was still cheap, like real cheap, and motorhomes offered a one-of-a-kind experience combining luxury with affordability. Life was getting good, but it was about to get groovy. Curtain privacy, Aztec-themed upholstery, cloth toilet lids, and molded fiberglass bodies, plus plush carpets everywhere. Carpet in the kitchen, carpet in the cockpit, and carpet in the bathroom. The 1970s brought a boom to motorhomes, but unfortunately, it wouldn't last forever.
Bad news. OPEC's embargoing the US. What?
And just like that, the party was over. Overnight, the price of oil quadrupled. Stations ran dry, V8s just made no sense. Even the government slashed the national speed limit to 55 just to save fuel.
We have at present an absolute shortage of natural gas. We cannot produce as much as we can use, as we are equipped to use in our homes and our factories.
So the RV did what it's always done. It adapted. V8s gave way to smaller, lighter rigs, and towables took prominence over motorhomes. But right here, a fight kicks off that the RV has never really stopped fighting. RVing versus gasoline.
My fellow Americans, the price of oil has fallen from the $36 a barrel of 1981 to about $12 a barrel today.
By the mid-'80s, oil came flooding back. Prices collapsed, gas got cheap, and the second it did, the RV got big again. Class A's added diesel pushers to the roster. In luxury, jumped the fence to fifth wheels and travel trailers.
Yeah, I just wish it was bigger.
Take a chill pill. This is the bomb home skillet. By the mid-'90s, slide-outs are popular, along with bigger fridges, microwaves, VCRs, satellite dishes, video game consoles, and the RV crosses an invisible line. It now closely matches almost everything you have at home. For the next 30 years, RVs continue on this path, adding residential features, balancing size and fuel economy, as well as luxury and function. It was all going so smoothly. And then, the strangest thing happened.
Hi, I'm Dr. Nancy Messonnier from CDC. I'd like to give you the latest update on the novel coronavirus spreading in the US, known as COVID-19. There is essentially no immunity against this virus in the population because it's new.
You know the story. In 2020, the coronavirus outbreak shut down the entire world practically overnight, including briefly the RV industry. That is, until something clicked. Sometime in the summer of 2020, RVing had its moment. Sales took off. RV rentals took off. Affordable, lightweight travel trailers suited the needs and budgets of brand new RVers who were leaving the city and looking for the freedom of the great outdoors. In fact, this Coleman that I'm in right now would go on to become the #1 best-selling travel trailer. And it wasn't just the towable segment. Every type of RV saw a new audience. 2021 shattered every record in RV history with over 600,000 RVs shipped. The boom wouldn't last, sure, but afterwards, RVing was in a totally new place. Now, there were a lot more RVers, and there were a lot more younger RVers. And with them came RVs with even more technology. Not just Wi-Fi and cell boosters, but lithium batteries and solar, satellite internet, and the ability to work from anywhere. Apps that run the entire rig from your phone. RVing was going digital, is going digital. And so the next iteration on our list may come as no surprise. Electric RVs are only the next chapter in the ongoing fight to make RVs more fuel efficient. The ranges are still pretty limited, and there's a long way to go before widespread adoption, but they still represent a significant step away from the burden of fuel costs. Now, do these high-tech RVs hold the future? It's hard to say, but they certainly feel like another transition in the RV's journey. So, the Industrial Revolution, the Great Depression, a world war, a global pandemic. Was RVing ever simple? Not really, but there's something here I hope you caught. We kept RVing. Maybe the coolest part about this whole 100-year-plus history is that no matter what was going on around the rest of the world, RVers still made it happen. The experiences people had ran the gamut, as diverse as you can imagine, but we kept finding ways to get outside and spend time with our families.